Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you to the Inter-House Declamation and Group Discussion Competitions for the academic year 2023-24. Declamation is defined as the deliverance of a rhetorical speech or haram. Usually, declamation involves famous speeches delivered by notable personalities. This means that the one delivering the speech will have to understand the deeper and implicit meanings of the speech and adjust to the thought process of the original speaker so as to deliver with the intended passion and vigor. Keeping all this in mind, I am sure that the performances will be nothing short of spectacular.
You all might as well get the music ready, cause this will take a while. Good afternoon to the honorable judges, respected teachers, and my dear friends. I am Mudmana from Bhaskar House. I'll be reciting the speech, The College Dropout, delivered by Kanye West. When I had my accident, I found out at that moment that nothing in life is promised except death. If you have the opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment. A lot of the people don't appreciate their moment until it's past. And then you gotta tell those Al Bundy stories. You remember But right now is my time and my moment. Thanks to the fans, thanks to the accident, thanks to God, thanks to Rockefeller, Jay-Z, Dame Dash, G, my mother, Ramfest, everyone that's helped me. And I plan to celebrate. I plan to celebrate and scream every chance I get because I'm at the Grammys, baby! My mom always told me that when life gives you lemons, squeeze the life out of them. I know, it doesn't make much sense. But hey, I might put it in a song or something. What I mean is, don't let your setbacks define you. Don't run away from embarrassment. Run towards it. Take the power away from it. You know, if you're scared of something your whole life, just do it. It might do something good. Let me tell you this. I had stage fear as a kid, and now I got the Grammy for the best rap album. It's crazy, I know. Everybody asked me the question. They wanted to know, whoa, Kanye's getting well louder, I know he's going to do something crazy. Everybody wanted to know what I'd do if I didn't win. I guess you'll never know.
Good afternoon. My name is Tila. I'm from Aditya House. I'll be declaiming a speech said by Winston Churchill. Almost a year has passed since I came down here at a kind invitation in order to cheer myself and cheer the hearts of a few of my friends by singing some of our own songs. The 10 months that have passed have seen very terrible catastrophic events in the world. Ups and downs, misfortunes. This October afternoon, Lord, feel deeply thankful for what has happened in the time that has passed and for the very great improvement in the position of our country and of our home. Why? When I was here last time, we were quite alone, desperately alone, and we have been so for 5 or 6 months. We were poorly armed. We are not so poorly armed today, but then we were very poorly armed. It is generally said that the British are often better at the last. They do not expect to move from a crisis to crisis. They do not always expect that each day will bring up some noble chance of war. Then they very slowly make up their mind that the thing has to be done and the job put through and finished. Even if it takes months, if it takes years, they do it. Back to our meeting here 10 months ago and now is that appearances are often very deceptive. And Kipling well says that we must meet with triumph and disaster, and we must treat the two impostors just the same. We cannot tell from appearances how things will go. Sometimes imaginations makes things out far worse than they are. I am addressing myself to the school. Surely from the period of 10 months, this is the lesson. Never give in, never give in, never, 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 never in nothing, great or small, large or petty. Never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force, never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy. We stood all alone a year ago, and to the other countries it seemed that our account was closed. We were finished. But instead, our country stood in the gap. You sang the extra verse written in my honor. There's one word I wanted to alter in it. It is the line, not less be praised in darker days. I wanted to alter darker to sterner, not less be praised in sterner days. Let us not speak of darker days. Let us rather speak of sterner days. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Nishala Droja from Aditya House, and today I'll be declaiming a speech by Matthew McConaughey. We've all got two wolves in us, a good one and a bad one, and they both want to eat. Best I can tell, we just got to feed that good one a little more than the other one. Happiness is an emotional response to an outcome. If I win, I will be happy. If I don't, I won't. It's an if-then, cause and effect, quid pro quo standard that we cannot sustain because we immediately raise it every time we attain it. See happiness. Happiness demands a certain outcome. It is result reliant. Joy though, joy is a different thing. Joy is not a choice. It's not a response to some result. It's a constant. Joy is the feeling we have from doing what we are fashioned to do. See, joy is always in process. It's under construction. The easiest way to dissect success is through gratitude. Appreciating the simple things we sometimes overlook. We give thanks for these things, and that gratitude reciprocates, creating more to be thankful for. I'm not saying being in denial of your failures. No, we can learn from them too, but only if we look at them constructively. We try our best. We don't always do our best. And since we are the architects of our own lives, let's study the habits, the practices, the routines that we have that lead to and feed our success. Let's dissect that and give thanks for these things. It's a get rich quick on the internet riches. 15 minutes of fame world that we live in, and we see it every day. But we all want to succeed, right? So the question that we got to ask ourselves is what success is to us. Prioritize who you are, who you want to be, and don't choose anything that antagonizes your character. Defining ourselves by what we are not is the first step that leads us to really knowing who we are. You know that group of friends that you hang out with that really might not bring out the best in you. You know, they gossip too much or they're kind of shady. Give yourself a break. Eliminate who you are not first, and you're going to find yourself where you need to be. The adventure never ends because we are always on the way. So do this, and let someone else come up and tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you scored. Let someone else run up, tap you on the shoulder and say, man, you won. Let them come tell you, you can go home now. Let them say, thank you. Take the lid off the man-made roots that we put above ourselves and always play like an underdog. Thank you.
Good afternoon, school. I am Pradyum from 6th grade and I am representing Modern Loves. I'll be delivering the speech Mission to the Moon by John F. Kennedy. We meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds. No man can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come. But condense, if you will, the 50,000 years of man's recorded history in a time span of but half a century. Stated in these terms, we know very little about the first 40 years, except at the end of them, advanced man to use the skins of animals to cover them. Then, about 10 years ago, under this standard, man emerged from his caves to construct other kinds of shelter. Only 5 years ago, man learned to ride and to use cars with wheels. Christianity began less than 2 years ago. The printing press came this year. Then, about 2 months ago, during this whole 50-year span of human history, the steam engine provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of gravity. Edison gave us electric lights and telephones, and automobiles and airplanes became available only last week. We have developed penicillin and television and nuclear power. It is such a breathtaking place, and such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. So, it is not surprising that some of us will have a stay where we are a little longer to rest, to weaken. If this capsule history of a progress teaches us anything, it is that man, in his quest for knowledge and progress, is determined and cannot be deterred. We shall send to the moon, 240,000 miles away, a giant rocket that is 300 feet tall, on an untracked mission into an unknown celestial body, and then return it safely to Earth. But why? Some say the moon. I choose this as a goal, and they will ask, why climb the highest mountain? 535 years ago, by the Atlantic, we chose to go to the moon. We chose to go to the moon. We chose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they're easy, but because they're hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone. And therefore, as we should say, we ask God's blessing in the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure with which they have ever been involved. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nadja, and I'll be speaking when Alexander the Great addressed the obeisance to me. What I'm about to say isn't meant to stop you returning home. As far as I care, you can go wherever you wish. But I want you to know how you have behaved towards me and how I have treated you. I'll begin, as is right, with my father. When he found you were mere peasants, wearing hides, tending a few sheep on the mountain slopes, and you could barely defend them from your neighbors. Under him, you began living in cities with laws and customs, and he turned you from slaves and rulers over those very barbarians who used to plunder your land. Great enough on its own, but small compared to what you have gained from me. I get no more rest than you. Many times I spend the night on watch so you could sleep soundly. Who amongst you believes he's worked harder for me than I have for him? Come on, if you got scars, strip and show them to me. I'll show you mine. There's another part of my body, the front at least, that doesn't bear a wound. My body is covered in scars from every weapon you can think of. Swords, arrows, stone, clubs, all for the sake of your lives, your glory, and your wealth. And yet, here I am, leading you as a conqueror of land and sea, rivers, mountains, and the plains. We've celebrated our wedding together. Many of your children will be cousins of my own. I've paid off your debts without asking you how you got them. Even if you're paid well enough and pillage every city we take. Many of you wear golden crowns, badges of courage and honor given to you by me. And
who have been wounded or crippled or have grown old to be welcomed back home as heroes. But since all of you wish to go, then all of you, go! Go home and tell them that the king, Alexander, the conqueror of the world, who ruled as far as the Caspian Sea, whose crossed the mountains of the Hindu Kush, whose crossed the Oxus and the Tanis rivers, even the Indus, the first to cross them since Titanus himself. I will not cross the high place too if you are covered in fear. When you make it back to Susa, tell them that you abandoned him and went home, leaving him under the protection of the foreigners you conquered. Perhaps this report of yours might seem glorious in the eyes of men and worthy in the eyes of God. Be gone!
Good evening, one and all present here. Today, I, Tavish Agrawal, will be presenting you a motivational speech by Denzel Washington. Fall forward. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There's no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking a major and deciding what you want to do in life, the people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you have something to fall back on, honey. But I have never understood the concept. If I am going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything except my faith. I want to fall forward. I figure, at least this way, I see what am I going to hit. This is what I mean. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You have got to take risks. I'm sure you probably heard that before. But I want to talk to you about why that's important. I've got 2 reasons, and then you can pick up your iPhones. First, you will fail at some point of time in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. And it's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony. But hey, I'm telling you, embrace it because it's inevitable. And I should know, in the acting business, you fail all the time. Only in my career, I auditioned for a part in Broadway musical. A perfect role for me, I thought, except for the fact that I can't sing. I didn't get the job. But here's the thing, I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there to prepare for the next audition, and the next audition, and the next one. I prayed, and I prayed, but I continued to fail, and fail, and fail. But it didn't matter, because you know what? You hang around a barber shop long enough. Sooner or later, you will get a haircut, you will catch a break. Last year, I did a play called Fences on Broadway, and I won a Tony Award. I didn't have to sing for it, by the way, and here's the kicker. It was at the theatre, the same theatre where I failed my first audition 30 years prior. The point is, every graduate here today has a training and talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? The second point about failure is, if you don't fail, you're not even trying. Once a wise man told me this great expression. To get something you never had, to do something you never did. Thank you.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. Today, I have faith, representing Vivasan House, will be presenting a motivational speech by Jawaharlal Nehru, Tryst with Destiny. Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny. And now comes the time when we shall redeem our pledge. Not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and to freedom. A moment comes, which comes, but rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends, and when the soul of the nation, long suppressed, finds utterance. It is fitting that at this solemn moment, we take the pledge of dedication to the service of India and the people, and to the still larger cause of humanity. At the dawn of history, India started an unending quest, and tactless centuries are filled with the striving and grandeur of her success and failures. Through good and ill fortune alike, she has never lost sight on that quest, or forgotten about the ideals that gave her the strength. We end today a period of misfortunes as India discovers herself again. The achievement we celebrate today is but a step, an opening of opportunity, of greater triumphs and the achievements that await us. The future is not one of ease or resting, but of incessant striving, so that we may fulfill the pledges we have so often taken and the ones we shall take today. The service of India means the service of the millions who suffer. It means the ending of poverty, ignorance, disease, and inequality of opportunity. The ambition of the greatest men of our generation has been to wipe every tear from every eye. There is no resting for any of us till we redeem our pledges in full, till we make all the people what destiny intended them to be. We are citizens of a great country on the verge of bold advance, and we have to live up to that high standard. All of us, to whatever religion we may belong to, are equally the children of India, with equal rights, privileges, and obligation. To India, a much-loved motherland, we, the ancient, the eternal, and the ever new, we pay our reverent homage, and bind ourselves afresh to her service.